Alright, what's up? It's Black Bear Tick here, and I know it's been a bit since y'all have probably heard from me. I will explain. Well, the reason I haven't heard from me in a bit is because I haven't really done anything. But the bigger reason that I am kind of just here is mostly because I know I've said some things recently, and I kind of want to touch base on all of that. Because I know some of it was worrying to a lot of my buddies and stuff, and probably just people as a whole. And I kind of want to just explain. I will say this month has not been very good, for various reasons, and it wasn't even because of things. It was mostly because of myself, and I will explain why. I will explain. I won't go into like full detail because honestly, it's a bit too personal in regards to like what happened, but I will talk more about myself because I think that's what needs to be talked about, and it's kind of like a way to keep me like kind of in check as well. So let's talk about a few things. Unite. Um, as y'all saw, I kind of had like I wouldn't call it a meltdown, but I kind of like had a feeling like an anger-driven rant about Unite. Um, and I know, and you might say that I've done it before. Like, yeah, I've done it before in the past years. I try not to rant, but I think this time it was fueled by a lot of desperation and malice towards like the player base and just Unite as a whole. And it was also partially because I had spiraled to the point of really caring about what people might think about me because they look at my stats. Yes, I spiraled because I started to care about my stats. I'm just gonna firstly let, and I want to also just preface this by saying this is the toxic trait I was talking about on Twitter, but it's not even just Unite. Like this is not a just Unite exclusive thing, and I will explain why a little bit later. But let's take care of the Unite portion first, so we can kind of like lead into the problem at hand. So this season was the worst season I've ever played. I didn't have fun at all playing it outside of like maybe one or two sessions. I'll be completely honest with you. It hit a pretty big boiling point about a week ago, and I just kind of like quit the season. Um, it was so I'm gonna be straight up. I did not. My peak win rate this season was 49%, I think, and I only had that for maybe like a session, and then I dropped it back down. And ever since, I never got it back up. Like I didn't even get close. Like I like it's not like me to care about stats, or rather, that's what I thought. But I ended the season with 500 games. Now, I think 511 games. Now, keep in mind, this isn't the first time I played most of a season, right? The first season I played when I came back from my like 2.5 month hiatus, I played fully from start to. I actually played fully from start to finish with like breaks maybe every week I took maybe like a day or two off the game, right? But mostly I played the entire season, right? When I ended that season, I had like maybe either just under 300 games or a little over 300 games. It was not 500 games. So what does that tell you? That means I was playing Unite. Firstly, I was playing Unite tilted more often than not. Secondly, I was playing Unite outside of playing with my buddies at varying points of the day. And I'm going to be truthful. That is the case. I actually think I solo queued more than I played with friends. Something that one I said I would never do again. Like, I, like, and well, I should say I would never solo queue more than I played with friends again. And I broke that. I completely went back on my word on that. I solo queued at morning, afternoon, when I was like warming food up for people for my family and stuff. I sometimes solo queued after a tilting session with duos and trios, like at night. Like there were literally points where I was literally playing, like the last like 2 and a half weeks. I pretty much played Unite at 3 to 4 different times a day, and all the sessions were at least like an hour and a half long, right? With like the evening sessions going longer. Um, that's like that's how desperate I was to get my win rate back. And realistically, one, I should not have. Firstly, I shouldn't have even cared because I've never had a negative season before. This was like the first, right? So realistically, I shouldn't have cared that much, but I did because I felt like things were just getting thrown at me so much that I felt it wasn't fair to my record that I was going so far under. Like, I want to also say my win rate for the season for like the first week was like a 42. I only managed to get it to like, if we're not counting my peak, I ended on a 47.5 with 500 games. At that point, it was no way I was getting to 50% without literally going on like like 3 hour sessions of nothing but wins in a row. And even that might not be enough at that point with that many games under my belt. Like it was like really bad. Like I was spiraling trying to get it back up, and it wasn't really until like a few days, like probably like last week, that I realized like, why am I doing this to myself? Like why do I care this much about my win rate? Now, and it's funny because this realization came after some how do I want to describe it? Some unfortunate events IRL that made me realize that I might actually just have a problem with caring about making myself look good under any circumstances necessary. And going back to Unite for a second, I wanna talk about this. I picked up 3 mons during this mess of a season. Dragapult, Mewtwo Y, Mewtwo X. 2 of them I bought with coins, impulsively, out of pure tilt, only to get no results of either of them. The last one, Mewtwo X, I did get results, but the caveat, I bought him with gems. I have never impulsively bought an older Mon with gems before. I have always used coins. And I impulsively wasted all my coins on 2 Mons that I really don't want to play anymore. I might give Dragapult another chance at some point, but like it's like completely stained. It's like tainted for me now, because like whenever I played it, either I did horrible with it because of the natural flaws of the Mon, or I did good and my randoms sucked, so we lost anyway. Like my Dragapult win rate is like 10% with like 12 games on it. Like even games that I should have won, we somehow lost because I don't know, people just didn't want to win or whatever. So yeah. And then Mewtwo Y, I got like no results. Like I think I won like 1 game. And then I had a similar situation where like I should have won a couple games, but I didn't because people wanted to throw. So yeah. So I impulsively bought Mewtwo X, and I did my little like support gimmick thing, which I mean that's Mewtwo X's niche at this point. Like it doesn't have anything over other all-rounders outside of basically being able to be the bulkiest all-rounder that can also run EXP share, and like a bulky support set. That's pretty much it. Like that's its only niche. So I wasn't really like tilt picking this with just like a random like carry set. Like I was playing for the team. And it worked. Like I actually went on a streak. Unfortunately, that was only that one day. And after it was just kind of like, it was probably one of my highest win rates of the season, but like, I didn't get the results I wanted. Granted, Mewtwo X is the one mon that I'm sticking with out of that bunch of 3 because I actually like its playstyle and I think it's really good for a team. Like I actually think it can be good for a team if played around. So let's see. Let's count off some of the things. I tilted for most of the season. I impulsively bought an older Mon with gems. something I should have never done in the first place. And I probably would not have if I was thinking rationally. I spent my in-game currency on 2 mons that I don't plan to really play for the near future. I might go back to Dragapult, like I said, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of a tainted mon for me for reasons now, so I don't know. So yeah, that's fun. I also kind of so many things. I have just so many bad decisions this season, from like caring so much about my win rate that I'm literally drowning my day playing Unite and getting off pissed and stuff, to like literally spend like impulsively using actual money to get a mon that I realistically should have thought about before I went and bought the other 2 mons, and could have bought it with just like coins, right? So, and then the natural toxic attitude I had pretty much all season, that got to a point where I was even like, I was starting to literally complain like 2 games in on sessions now. Like, it was really bad. Like, I will fully admit to caring too much about my stats and like carrying people this season. Like, it was, I'm not really proud of myself. But there's more to it than just Unite, because I realized after a situation happened, I won't talk too much about it, but I will say I have been unreasonably hostile towards people in my family. Not my mom or grandpa or anything like that, but just others that I've been around. Similar, like, they're the same people that I had, I guess, I had gotten into issues with a few years ago. And I think what happened is that, and something that I realized is that I was trying so hard to get acknowledgement from them that I ended up doing questionable decisions around the house. I ended up starting to be selfish. Well, I should lead it by saying I started to become very selfish and doing questionable decisions. It's not that I'm not, like, and I've kind of, like, I feel that my toxicity, my toxic mental at the moment, has done more harm than good to both myself and people around me. And it really wasn't until some transpiring events happened, or not transpiring is not the right word, some events happened a couple weeks ago that I realized that maybe I am the problem here, and that I need to be better. I'm personally not proud of myself. I think I really did drop the ball, and I think I did very much let my past have a grip on me in terms of like my mental state towards certain things and my decisions towards certain things. I think, I don't know, I think I cared. I think I've come to a point where I feel like I am caring too much about what people think, and I try very hard to make myself out to be very good in multiple different ways. And the reason I talked about Unite initially is because this isn't the first time. Pretty much all my my biggest toxic moments on Unite happened within this 3-year span, right? And and of course it's hard to really say for sure, because Unite did come out in like 2022, I think. But that is the year that all this stuff started happening, and I think realistically it carried in the Unite in probably the worst way possible. So now you have me being toxic on Unite, caring about my stats to the point where I'm impulsively buying stuff on Unite, and then making very selfishly oriented decisions IRL that quite literally can, honestly, if I want to be blunt, can harm me and my family that I live with. And I don't want to be that person. I don't want to cause problems. I don't want to end up doing something I might regret. It's it's something that it kind of it was one of those like hard to swallow pills. Um, because I had two instances of problems with another family member that come down here, and the second this like we got I guess we had gotten it resolved the first time, but then something I had said to them, they had read later in the week, and they didn't like what I had said, and it was only at that point that I realized that I have been ridiculously toxic towards myself and people around me. And truthfully, I do want to fix this because I feel like as all at the point of the at I can't talk at the stage in life that I am, if I don't fix myself, something horrible might happen. I don't know what it would be. It could be a terrible decision that it could be just like a terrible decision that ends up hurting me or people around me even more to the point where I can't fix it anymore. It could be a lot of different things. I don't really want to think about said situations because I want to become someone that can be looked up to. I want to be one of those, like, I guess, to make it like a corny metaphor, like a shining star in a galaxy or whatever, right? Like, I want to be like that. Like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be this, like, nuclear ticking time bomb that I've been for, like, most of my 20s, right? Like, I really do feel like now is the time to turn it around. Because if I don't, and it just continues, I think it's going to it's going to go from a nuke to a black hole, and I don't want to see myself turn into that. Because if I do, if I were to turn into a metaphorical black hole, it would probably destroy. It would destroy my family, probably. It would probably destroy my family. I am like that is where we're at right now. Like, I don't want that to be the case. And it's not even just like my family too. Like, it's like I can keep it together when I'm talking to homies a lot of the times, right? But like, I fear that if I were to let any of that leak out, even accidentally, I would feel like I feel like my friends would look at me in a different way, and I don't want that to happen. Like, I love the friends that I have. I love all the like relationships I've made over the years, and I'm glad that y'all have seen the good side of me for all these years. But I myself know that it's not just all good with me, and I want to fix that. I want to be the very best version of myself that everybody can see when they walk up to me, whenever they say hi to me or whatever like that. I don't want to be the person that turns into like a spiteful person, right? And the reason I say that is because I feel like I was getting traces of my personality back from like early high school, where I quite literally despised the world. I didn't like people around me, and like it was just bad. Like, I do not want to become that person, and I think it's time for me to let my past go, free myself from whatever shackles there may be from, and I feel like some of the shackles have been even before the whole like family drama, like just past things like regrets and stuff like that from like high school and like early college and all that. Like, just let it go, free myself from them, start anew, and become that person that I want to be. And I've been working on that. I've been being more attentive to myself and my gramps and my mom and stuff like that. I've been way more attentive to that. I've made sure to proactively make sure they're all okay, stuff like that. Um, I've made sure to kind of keep an open mind to discussions with my friends and stuff now, a lot more. I already kind of did. Like, I think I think open mind to discussions with friends have been like the one consistent thing that I've had throughout my entire life. And I'm very glad that I've kept that trait because even now I feel like I can. It's a lot better. Like I just like being open-minded towards things, at least towards most things. At least towards most things. Maybe Pokemon Unite wise, there might be some things I'm not as open-minded towards, but yeah, that's neither that's neither here nor there. All right, but yeah, I just want to be a better person. I wouldn't call myself a bad person right now, at least yet. Admittedly, during this month, I hit a low point where I did think I was a pretty bad person. Was it true? No, I'm not a bad person, but I've made a lot of mistakes towards myself and people around me that I once confronted with all of that, it kind of just sent me into a very bad spiral for like a day, and obviously I'm fine now. I'm willing to talk about it. I don't want to go into like details about why all that happened, but I'm here. I'm fine now. I just want to be a better person, or rather, I want to improve myself. Like I said, I don't think I'm a bad person, and I don't think people think I'm a bad person. But I do think, but I have been confronted with a lot of like bad decisions I've made, and a lot of my toxic mentality, and I think that was the eye opener I kind of needed. Ironically, despite how I probably didn't take it as well as I should have initially. But after looking back on it, it was just like, oh, well, maybe they were right. Um, like, it makes me kind of just think about how I was letting baggage from like my whole life, and then especially like 3 years ago with the whole like family incident and stuff, kind of just like poisoned my mentality without me even realizing it. And it took until a big confrontation between multiple of my other family members to basically see that. And it's like, it was a very tough pill to swallow. I definitely spent some time thinking about what I've done and all that. But the good thing, the good thing is I now understand. My mind is a lot more clear. I will also say, one thing that I realized I also didn't do, and this is just like a little add-on. I went back to just not putting effort into anything. Like, I just don't put effort into stuff. Like, again, I think this is partially because of my, past chaining me down and all that. So one thing I'm gonna try to do is find something to put effort into, whether it's like making videos again, actually honing my craft in Rivals and Unite, just a lot of things. Like I've put effort into things before, and y'all have seen how happy I get when I've finished said product, right? But I was never able to actually really keep it up. I think the most effort I've put into stuff was learning Corrin and Smash Ultimate, right? And that was a great experience. Like, my results paid off, and I was extremely happy. But even then, after that, I just kind of fell off. Not like in terms of me just like doing like results wise. I just stopped playing the game, and I just didn't really have fun with the game anymore. like I don't know, like it. I I don't know. It's very weird to talk about because the more I think about it, the more I kind of wonder, like, why don't I put effort into anything? Like, and it's crazy because a lot of people say I'm good at a lot of things, and a lot of times I joke about, hey, what if I put effort into this, right? Like, what if I put effort into Unite? What if I put effort into Smash? Stuff like that, right? Like, or whatever game that I might play. What if I put effort into learning Toho or whatever, right? But, like, I never cared to commit. Like, it wasn't a thought on my mind. And that's kind of been, like, my entire life. Like, I've shown I can be good at stuff, but I never really wanted to commit. And truthfully, I think that's just because of my polluted, at least my polluted mind back in the day, and even up till now. I think it's just like I just think it's not worth it. Like, as weird as that is to say, I just like, is there anything that would, like, I don't know. I guess because I've been so focused on trying to, like I said I was being selfish. Being selfish was another thing that was kind of like polluting my decisions and stuff. And I think I was caring so much about myself to the point where I'm just like, if it's not worth it, I'm not putting time into it. And it's a very toxic way of thinking. And I'm not, that's another thing I'm not really proud of. Like, that's a very toxic way of thinking because, like, things aren't always going to be worth it right away. It's the end goal, right? But in my eyes, I felt that it wasn't even worth trying. And honestly, it's pretty crazy. Like, it is something that I feel I should maybe work on. It's gonna take a while though. It's gonna take a lot, cause like, this has been like, I think ever since college started, this has been like the backbone of my mentality for certain things, and it's affected even outside of my gaming life, like I said earlier, and it's like, it's kind of scary to think about. Like, the human mind is very scary, because I didn't even really realize that I was spiraling this badly, both in-game and IRL, until I was confronted by multiple people about it. You think humans think they are better than their brain. They are not better than their brain. At least in my view, because your brain can make you do things that you don't even realize. Or like, let's see. I guess let me reword that, because what I was about to say was gonna come off kind of iffy. If you're having like a spiraling moment, you don't even realize you're having a spiraling moment until you really look back at it, right? I didn't really realize I was spiraling, both IRL and Unite, for 3 years. Until really I kind of got clocked, right? Like, whoa, like, was I really like, was it really this bad? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, your brain can do some very scary things, and it makes me kind of understand that mental health, like, I've never really like joked about mental health, like, right? Like, outside, like serious mental health, right? Like of course we've had like the joking, like, oh, like they need to get their brains checked, or oh, you're a psychopath, stuff like that, right? Like, we've all said that, right? But like, when it comes to like people getting actual mental help, like, I never really like I never really thought about it, but I kind of like I get it now. Like some people don't notice. Some people don't notice, or I guess are sometimes incapable of like knowing that their brain is like kind of going insane, right? And while I don't think I'm a person that has like insanity issues or anything like that, it was a scary experience to basically just not be in control of myself in like one of the worst ways imaginable. And it made me kind of understand that, yo, I should treat myself a lot better, and like improve my mental state, because it's like if it were to get worse than that, I don't know what would happen. And like I said, that's a thought that I'm kind of scared to even think about, and I don't want to ever get to that point. So, long story short, all the yapping aside, my plans going forward really are just to kind of like focus on my mentality as a whole. And I don't mean just like in Unite, I mean like outside, like just both in gaming and IRL. Like I want to at least like I want to improve myself. I want to improve myself. Like that's just the gist of this whole thing. And sorry if I hope I didn't talk like I was like super uninformed about the whole mental health thing, and like y'all probably get what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry if it came off bad. I'm probably not gonna edit it just because like at this point this is kind of like unfiltered thoughts, with just a bit of like filtering, because you know, not going into like full details and stuff. But I just want to work on myself. That's pretty much it. Like, but I think it's gonna be a slow process because firstly I need to improve on the part of myself that can help not only me but my family as well. That's the first thing. Second thing is improving on my mental state towards just doing anything, right? I feel like part of the reason I don't want to do stuff or try things is that like I said, I just don't think it's worth it a lot of the time. Like, people will try to get me to like play something, and I won't shut them down, but I won't really push the issue, right? Like, if nobody talks about it again, I'm not gonna bring it up. Even if I have thoughts of it, I just don't bring it up, right? Like, it's kind of weird, like, I don't know. But you get my point, right? Like, that's the second thing I want to work on. I just want to, like, improve my mental in terms of, like, trying things. Like, at this point in my life, like, I shouldn't be, like, I shouldn't have, like, I shouldn't have the mentality of, oh, this isn't going to be worth my time. I'm not going to bother trying this or whatever, right? Like, I should at least see if I actually like it or not, right? After all, a lot of my interests that I have, I wouldn't have had if I didn't try them, right? Like, making videos, playing video games. Hell, my first Smash game was Brawl. And when I saw that, as a kid, when I saw Mario in it, I thought that was going to be the lamest game in history. And while I shit on Brawl and think it's a bad game now, it was the whole reason I got into Smash, right? Like, I played it once and I fell in love with it, despite literally saying that I thought it was not going to be worth my time because it had Mario in it. Hell, I played a bunch of Mario games after I got into Smash. Can't say I've played many Mario games recently, but, you know, point still stands, right? And yeah, that was like kid me, but the reason I say this is because it is a mentality that I had as a kid. And the fact that it's starting to resurface a lot now that I'm an adult is kind of scary, because it's like, growing up is all about, like, trying to find yourself, right? And you can't find yourself if you're refusing to, like, if you're refusing to approach things with an open mind, that's kind of why I brought the whole like Smash Brawl thing up. But yeah, um, the second thing I want to work on. The third thing is less of a mental thing and more of a physical thing. I want to, well, firstly, I want to clean my house up enough to where, firstly, I have a lot more space. Secondly, I want to maybe start working out a bit. I'm not gonna say anything about going to a gym or anything, but like, probably just do like push-ups on my like, carpet or something like that. Like, just, I think getting at least a little bit more in shape would help my mental a bit as well. So that's kind of the thing I want to work on. So now you might ask, where do I go from here? Cause like at this point I'm doing like a pretty much a complete reset on myself in terms of like getting rid of all that like toxic hate or whatever I might have had, anything chaining me from the past and all that. Well, for starters, I don't really know. I'll be honest. I don't know. I can't really say I'm going to be getting back into making videos. I can't really say that I'm going to be playing a bunch of random new games again, or whatever, like I did before Rivals of Aether 2 dropped. The answer is I don't know. Like, I wish I had a concrete answer for y'all right now, but I don't. I kind of just have to figure that out on my own at this point. Like, I don't really have a concrete answer. That said, I do hope that y'all do support me on whatever I decide to do. I think this year is going to be a kind of like a self-grind year. Focus on myself. Mostly because 2026, well, honestly, not even just a self-grind, but a house grind year, because 2026, I think I've told y'all I was going to go to Pokemon Worlds in San Francisco in 2026. Obviously, that's quite literally over a year away. We're only 2 months into 2025, and that's 2026. But I definitely need to get myself in order, because truth be told, if I'm the way I am right now, as I'm making this video, by the time Worlds comes around, and I don't even mean just like gaming wise, I mean mental wise, and just like the house being not up to my standards, I'm not gonna be able to go. Like, because the reality of it at this point is that things need to move forward here. And I think, and like I said, things have not moved forward here despite me advocating in multiple videos that I'm going to get things together, I'm going to get things together, I'm going to get things together. It never happened. And like I said, it wasn't until I was confronted heavily about a lot of things around here, alongside my toxic mentality, that I really realized, like, whoa, like, okay, like, this sucks to be hit by, but I understand. So, I want myself to be not only in a much better state than I am now when I go to Worlds next year, but I also want to be sure that my grandpa and my mom don't need anything when I go on a trip. One thing that I want us to be ahead of ourselves now. Not ahead of ourselves, but like, you know, improved version of ourselves. And I think a year plus time frame is enough time for me to like, for lack of better word, get my shit in gear and lock in. Because if I don't lock in, it's going to be disastrous at this point. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest, like, it's going to be disastrous. And I definitely want to make sure that I am ready for the world. And hell, who knows? I meme around about Pokemon Unite and stuff, and like, making a team and all that, but who knows? Maybe I'll take that venture seriously at some point. It'd be kind of cool to be on a team with friends and stuff, you know? Either way, I think that's gonna be it for the video. This was a little bit deeper, of a video. So I don't blame you if you, click off. This is really, like, if I'm being honest, this video is more for myself to just hold myself accountable for just improving as a person at this point. Like, I need to lock in for the sake of not only me, but the people that I am close to. Because if I don't, the results will be disastrous, and I will be left with regrets that I cannot fix. Or I will be left with regrets that will not go our way, basically. So, yeah. I guess I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if I'm gonna have gameplay. I'll be honest, because I think this one specifically is more like a podcast type of beat, honestly. So I don't know if I'll have gameplay. I will have music, obviously. I'll have like music in the background and stuff like that. But I don't know if I'm gonna have gameplay for this one. So yeah. Anyway, that'll be it. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.